Hello there, I hope all of you are doing well. God, I have no idea how long it has been for me to say those sentences via camera. Like it has been, I feel like it has been so long I didn't say that. Finally, I took the time to do that, and the truck is, yeah, thank you. So guys, as per the title, I have actually gathered a few affordable foundation for dark skin tone. Like affordable foundation for dark skin tone, because this is rare, and so I hope you guys will be enjoying this video and you will have some takeaway from this video. And yeah, before we start the video, I would be happy if you guys can subscribe to my channel and hit the notification so that you'll be notified every time when I upload a video, and also give me a like because this kind of video it's rare. So what we are going to talk about, each foundation that I'm going to show to you guys or feature in this video is basically whether the color matches me or not. That is the number one. And what is the finish, how it's like, whether it's like a medium coverage or it's a buildable coverage or it's a full coverage or it's just like a tint. And then we are going to talk about the price, and yeah, so it's going to be something in that line. So for the start, I'm going to show you guys, I love all this foundation over here, all the 6 I love, but if you ask me, like, pick one, like ride or die, just pick one, I would say I would go with the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. This is actually in 340 cappuccino. Yeah, as you guys can see, this is like a good match for my skin tone, and they do have 2 more shades that is darker than this shade for Malaysian range. Malaysian don't have like a full range of foundation tones, because there is only fair people in Malaysia and there is only slightly dark people in Malaysia. So that is what the Malaysian market is about. So I was lucky enough to get something that is along with my skin tone, and this foundation is like, as I told you guys, it's my top notch, my number one, purely because it matches my skin tone, and secondly, it can be like from medium coverage to full coverage. You can apply it less for you want a subtle kind of a coverage, or you can go like all like glammed up and like have like nothing popping out from your face, like you can't see your scars, you can't see your dark spot, like you will be like a plain blank. It can cover everything. And also the finishes is like matte is the finish that I always look for, because I have very like oily to combination skin, and it's like towards more to oily. I have like this T-zone, it's a little bit drying, but the rest is like very oily. And then after like 4-5 hours, you can see my face will become like a disco ball. And with this foundation, I can go up to 8 hours or even 9 hours, provided with some powdering. It can go like very matte. The best part about this foundation is I don't feel like I'm wearing foundation. You know, sometimes I start to rub my face and I'm like, oh, I'm actually wearing a foundation, because I don't feel like I'm wearing foundation. So I like the finish. It's matte, and it's also doesn't feel like you are wearing something. It doesn't feel heavy, you know, it doesn't feel cakey. And the price point for this foundation is about like 40 ringgit, and most of the time, like 90% of the time, this foundation is always on sale. Even this is my second bottle, and both bottles I bought it for like 20, 26, like less than 30 ringgit. Although the price point is like 40 ringgit, but I bought it like less than 30 ringgit the both time that I bought it, because it's always on sale, it's always reduced price. So if you are looking for a foundation and you are my skin tone, you should definitely go for this. And with all the nice things that I've said, that one thing that I'm like could improve. Like from this foundation, if I want to go to the next level, what I would expect is this foundation does give a little bit of like a yellowish kind of finish. It's like when you're wearing, when you're applying, you feel like it doesn't match your skin tone. It gives you like a yellowish kind of undertone that can put off someone. Like when you're wearing it for the first time, then when you see that kind of undertone, you feel like, oh, this is not my skin tone, this is not my skin tone, what's happening? But you must give this foundation a little bit of time, because over the time it will blend and it will sink and it will match your skin tone. It's just a little bit of heads up for you guys. Don't be afraid when it turns a little bit yellowish, because at the end of the day it's going to give you the skin tone that you are. Foundation number 2 that I'm keep on reaching for the past 3-4 months, I would say. 3-4 months. Like every time when I want to apply something, and I like recently I have a lot of event that I need to attend, the first foundation that I go and reach is this Revlon Colorstay 24 hours. This is in 400 caramel. I go and reach for this foundation, guys. This foundation is like, I would say, comparable to the Maybelline. This foundation is like, doesn't even give me the yellow tint. Like the yellow undertone, it's not there. The only thing is, with this foundation you can't go actually like very full coverage. It will give like slightly above than medium coverage, but it won't give you a full coverage. If you want to go full coverage, you will look like a little bit cakey. So it's not going to cover everything. But if you know me, I'm not a person who likes to cover everything. I like to be myself, even though I'm wearing a foundation. So I'm not a person who likes to cover everything, and I have a lot to cover. So I'm not a person who likes to cover everything. So this is like more like a medium coverage. It's not going to give you a full coverage. It's going to give you a lot like a natural look, but like a little bit more put together. So so that is for the coverage. The finish is matte, which I love, but it's not as long lasting. The matteness is not long lasting as the Maybelline, but with the combination of a setting powder, especially I have been using this together with the Fenty powder foundation. I think I mentioned this before. The Fenty powder foundation, it's totally not worth it, because it doesn't give a foundation kind of coverage. But when I use it as a setting powder combined with this foundation, my god, I've been wearing that combo for 16 hours and I still didn't look like a disco ball. That was like, oh, I found the combo of the year. That's what I felt. So it's not very long lasting as it alone with just normal setting powder, but with some sort of combination it can go last longer. Then for the shade match, I mean like I have nothing to say. It matches so beautifully. There is no sort of undertones that is going to make me feel a little bit afraid. It doesn't have any undertone for what I have observed. It just have the color that I need for my skin tone. The color matches is like on point. And then for the price point, I believe this is about 60 ringgit. It's a little bit high price point, but I feel like rather than you go and buy something that is for 200 because you can't get the skin tone that you want, I think 60 ringgit is like a bargain. Next is from Nita Cosmetic. This is the Microphone Aqua Radiance Liquid Foundation. This is a Malaysian brand foundation. I have a dedicated video for this cosmetic brand. I will link down in the description box below if you guys are interested to watch them. Even for Revlon also, I have a dedicated full face of Revlon makeup video. I will link down below if you guys are interested to watch that. For this foundation, the coverage is medium. This is not a full coverage foundation. You can actually see your skin with this foundation, that's for sure. And I have tried to build it up. It doesn't work like that. It is a medium coverage. And then the finish is like it says, it's Aqua Radiant. So when I bought this, I thought it's going to be giving me a matte finish, but no, this is like a radiance kind of a hydrating kind of a foundation. But I would say this, that the radiance that this foundation gives doesn't make you look greasy actually, that is coming from me. You don't actually look greasy depending on the hours that you're going to apply, and they didn't even claim that they're long hours. Depending on the hours that you're wearing, you don't actually look greasy. And for people who have like a dry skin, this would be such a nice foundation to have. But for myself, for the first 2 to 3 hours, I really looked radiant versus greasy. I mean, like, that is like a huge difference. I looked radiant. I felt like if I have to go and attend certain event and I want to look like goddess, I think I would go with this foundation, purely because that kind of radiance that the foundation gives you. It makes you like glowy, and I loved that, because when I opt for any foundation, I would never go and look for that kind of a finish. But because I wanted to know about Nita Cosmetic, and this is the only foundation that they had, I had to buy it. But I was glad that I got it because I liked how it looked on me. But I would say after 3 or 4 hours, I do start to get a little bit greasy. So like an event attending kind of a makeup, I think this foundation is very good. And this foundation was, if I'm not mistaken, it's like around like 30 ringgit plus, like that. And I actually got this foundation for free because I subscribed to their newsletter. They actually gave me this as a free gift because I subscribed to their newsletter. I don't think so it's valid now or not, but that's what happened at that time. So I got this free. And as you guys can see, I would actually, if this foundation finishes and if I want to buy it again, I would go with 7.5. This is actually in feminine 7, so I will go for 7.5 because it's a tad bit light shade for me. But it's not something that is like not workable. It's totally workable. It just feels a little bit light, if I would say about that only part. And then one thing I forgot is about the packaging. The both foundation that I previously mentioned, they come in a pump form, and I have traveled with both of the foundation. They never leak, and it's very convenient to pump out and take their foundation. For this particular foundation, it's like a twisting kind of a situation, and it has like a sponge. It does feels good when you apply and everything, but I would say that the twisting part, it gets a little bit over my head. So that would be the only thing that I say about this product, the packaging. Next is from Dermacol. So this is the Dermacol Film Studio. Oh sorry, this is the Dermacol makeup cover. This is in actually, oh my god, they didn't mention it's in the box. Okay, I will mention down below, guys, the shade and everything for each foundation that I'm mentioning, because I can't see the shade in the packaging, on the packaging. So this is from Dermacol. This foundation is like next level foundation, like next level foundation. If you have like a bumpy day, like, I mean, I don't know whether you guys can relate yourself to that or not, but if you have like a bumpy day, I traveled recently and I don't know what happened. Maybe it's like been like so long, started to have everything coming out, like every battalion of pimples was coming out, and I was freaking out because I wanted to do certain content. And who saved the day? Dermacol makeup cover. They actually call this as a makeup cover, but I think this is like a very full coverage, thick kind of a foundation. I would say that you just need like a tad bit. Don't go and push everything out. You just need like a tad bit. You can cover the whole face. It's that thick. You feel like it's like so small, but it's also 30 gram, equivalent to any other foundation that I mentioned or showed to you guys just now. You will feel like for 30 gram it does look very like small and things like that, but no, you are wrong. You just need a tiny bit dot and your whole face will be covered. I think your whole neck also can be covered because that thick and it's that full coverage, and the best part is the matte finish. You don't get greasy with this foundation. Like, not after 6 hours, not after 8 hours, not after 10 hours. You can go up to like 15 hours, you still will be mattified for life, I would say. So it's very long lasting, matte finish. The price point for this is, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's about 60 ringgit, like the Revlon. But I feel like with that 60 ringgit, you can go for like, even if you use this every day, I think you can easily go for 6 months. I completely feel this is like so worth it. The only thing that I would say is you need to be very careful, because if you don't blend it properly, or if you apply it more than required, you are going to look like a disaster cake. You're going to look like a moist cake. It's very thick. This foundation, it's clearly like shows I'm wearing foundation. So if you don't go light-handed and if you don't blend properly, you will look very cakey. That's for sure. The next is from Rimmel. This is Lasting Matte. This one is in 408 Maple. This foundation, it's a little bit light for my skin tone, but I think I can still work with this with a lot of like good blending. I can still work with this. The finish is matte, as it says. It does last for a few hours, I would say. A long lasting foundation, I would say. You can go medium coverage, you can go full coverage. Full coverage not comparable to the Dermacol. I think nothing is comparable to the Dermacol, but it can go full coverage. It can cover a lot of things. Price point, this was like, I think 20 ringgit, 25. Very affordable. So I completely like this foundation. Why I didn't say love? Because of that one point. It is very terribly fragranted. Like the fragrance, it will linger even after you finish the whole makeup. I would be okay if the fragrance just lasted when I apply it, and when I go to the next step it just vanishes. No, it will last until the end of the makeup application. But of course, after you set and everything, you're not going to smell it. But the initial smell that it gives you can literally give you a headache. And I don't know why there's a fragrance in this foundation. None of the foundation had fragrance, but this one does. And it's like, why have that fragrance? If because of that one point, like, I don't know whether I'll be getting it again or not. But if it was not fragrance, there was no fragrance, I think the packaging, the price point, the shade, the coverage, the finish, everything is like on point. If you don't mind the fragrance, I think you should definitely go and try this foundation. Last but not least, also another foundation from Revlon. This is the Colorstay Full Coverage Matte Foundation. This one, to be honest with you guys, I have only tried this foundation for once, and I actually fall in love with the foundation. I think it's a little bit comparable with the pump that I show you guys just now, but I would say this foundation lasts even longer without the help of the Fenty foundation powder or like a very heavy kind of a setting powder. This foundation actually lasts longer. It actually comparable to that foundation, like finish wise, coverage wise, price wise, and also shade wise. Everything is comparable, but that foundation, it's not a long lasting foundation, but this one is quite long lasting foundation, and I had a very good review on my first impression. I will link down the video if you guys want to watch that video. In depth, I'll be talking in depth about this foundation. So actually I'm going to travel today, and I'm going to bring this foundation, because even though I've only worn this one time, I'm confident that for the event that I'm going to attend, this is going to be And guys, with that last foundation featured in this video, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you have some sort of selection or option when you want to buy something affordable for dark skin tone girls like me, so you don't have to rely just on one particular foundation, or you don't have to go and spend that much of money to buy a foundation just because you can't get a shade for yourself. I'm not saying that I won't buy anything that is high-end. I do have high-end foundation as well, but I'm saying that like for a beginner or basically for a person who like rarely use foundation, and that person feel like, why I want to spend so much to buy a foundation when I only use like once a month. So for that kind of people, and to just generally have some options, I hope this video was beneficial for you guys. And yeah, so I'll see you guys over my next video. Till then, bye bye.